Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an Agile Coach and a Scrum Master. Today I will talk about pragmatism, why it's super important for me as an Agile Coach and how I work with the concept of pragmatism. If you like these videos, please subscribe and share. That would be super awesome. If you have been close to a team that I've worked with or maybe talked with me at one point, you might have heard me say that Scrum is never the answer, because Scrum is never the answer for me. I would much rather go out, try stuff. I'm inspired by the Scrum framework for sure. So I would always encourage people to start out setting some kind of sprint goal or iteration goal if we are to stay clear of Scrum terminology. And then at the end, do some kind of product review. Figure out how did we do towards this goal that we set. Did we manage to achieve it? Didn't we? Did we do something else and why? And then do some kind of retrospective on the process, on how we worked, and then set a new goal. I would start from there and then build. Then we might end up in a Scrum setup, it might end up in something else, but I would always start there, again being pragmatic about how we're doing it. I would never just from day one say, now we're doing Scrum, let's go. And one of the reasons for this is, if you're familiar with the Cynefin framework, and I know that it's not domains, but a lot of the problems we're trying to solve within product development, for instance, and IT, is in the complex part. And the complex problems, they don't respond well to plan-driven. They don't respond well to prescriptive ways of working. We need to experiment to come up with these new emerging practices. We cannot talk about best practices or good practices. We can talk about emerging practices. Scrum works by putting constraints on the system, right? But we need to know something about our problem before we can make some good governing constraints on our problem. And that's again where pragmatism helps, at least me, being pragmatic. So let's try out using user stories. Okay, that was not a good way of phrasing what we want to achieve. Let's take a step back. Let's try out something else. Problem stories, maybe even use cases, depending on the problem at hand, right? And then just experiment a lot and learn from it. And yes, a lot of the times we will try something, it won't work, and then we will try something new that will maybe work. But at all points in time, we're working in this iterative and incremental way, so building upon the previous steps. And that to me, again, shows a very high degree of pragmatism. For me, a backlog is never 100% user stories. It can be in whatever format makes sense. And again, whatever makes sense, then let's do that. Instead of blindly following a big scaling framework, because the framework says we need to do this, then we are doing this. Take a step back, look at it. What could we try out and how could we learn? What would be the leading and the lagging indicators of a good solution taking place? I'm hoping that some of you will share how are you using pragmatism in your daily life as Agile coaches or process managers or transformation managers or whatever your job title is, right? Because I'm pretty sure that this is a common trait amongst the lot of us, that we are being pragmatic about how we solve problems, either on our own behalf or trying to help the team solve their problems. So please leave a comment, send me a message, whatever rocks your boat, either on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. And feedback and comments to these videos are also more than welcome. So I'm looking forward to hear from you, and then have a super awesome day.